Is your friend and host Sandeep Amar Gupta from Delhi, once again on this When East Meets West.
Mm.
Again with me is Tina Pearson. She is an adaptability. Well, she hates the word expert, but
Oh,
I'll call
no.
her an expert. Look, you can see the expression on her face on the word expert.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that one. Yeah. I'm a
Okay.
scientist, we like to be called
Yes.
experts.
And today, we bring for you a very, very important topic. The word resilience. Now, resilience is an innate quality in human beings. Had human beings by nature not been resilient, they would have never progressed. Because life is not linear, it's not a straight line, it's ups and downs, bumps. And resilient means getting up and continuing, in simple terms. Today, we see that resilience is spoken about like a buzzword. Everyone is saying, I'll teach you how to be resilient, I'll teach you how to be resilient. And probably they're forgetting that our brain is an instrument of habits. If you keep falling and rising, it becomes normal for the brain. And you spend your time and life just rising and falling, not moving ahead. And what makes you move ahead is adaptability. And that is where Tina comes in. So, Tina, welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. My favorite topic. And we are picking out one facet of adaptability, and that is resilience. But adaptability also has a broader spectra of both character abilities, because adaptability is also highly dependent on the environment. And with that said, a person, let's say, working in a company or an organization, they'll function fantastically in a particular team and function in that team. When transferred to a new team, and in that way is surrounded with a new environment, can be completely unadaptable. So a person from one moment to the other, adaptable, not too adaptable. So what happened on that journey? Well, I tell you, I have been in that situation when I was super adaptable, and in one decision from the manager at top level, changed my environment in the company to such an extent that I became a rebellion. And Sandeep, a rebellion is not very adaptable in an organization. So I became impossible to work with, and I basically was fired. So going from being extremely innovative, developing new concepts, to being fired in the same organization within 1 year. That is based on my own experience, both as private life and in my work life. When I heard about adaptability intelligence developed by an amazing people from UK, then I thought, this is it. This is what companies need to focus more on. And the great thing also, which for me as a scientist and an engineer, because I'm also an engineer, is that you can measure it. So you can be very, very subjective. You don't have to involve your objectivity in it. You can be very subjective. No, very objective, not subjective. Sorry, I mixed it too early in the morning here for me, Sandeep. So you can make a very objective analysis by measuring it. So I see it as a thermometer of an organization, team, and human being. So
That's
introducing adaptability is the key to help your staff, your people, your human, because in any business that want to transform, it can't unless you work with the people, because without your people, you don't have an organization.
what I hear from you is you said the company's becoming adaptable.
Mm.
And what I hear behind this statement is that the leaders becoming adaptable because companies don't function on their own. It is
Mm.
the leaders who
Mm.
set the culture, and we are talking of an
Yeah,
adaptable culture.
yeah. adaptability culture, to understand
Adaptability.
fundamentally. Yes, that's what I talk about. So if you have leaders, if you put it this way, adaptability, it's very common. You have a company goes, top down, and you tell the leaders and the team they have to be adaptable. But if the top level doesn't understand the fundament behind adaptability, that adaptability is working and leading an organization without maybe managers, without silos, having self-driven teams that are trained to work in uncertainty, teams that maybe has to continue to work on something and they're not really sure what's going to happen the next week or the week after, but the teams themselves can drive themselves. That is a completely new mindset. And just before we started recording, I was watching a YouTube video how we in Sweden, because we are a very innovative country, we have that in our backbone. I saw how we develop our fighter planes. We have JAS in Sweden, JAS Gripen. Gripen.
Mhm.
And big countries with like United States having their F-35, that airplane or that fighter plane is huge and cost $1 billion to build. We don't have that money in Sweden. So we have to be innovative to create something cheaper. Yeah. So how can you get an engineering team to build a cheaper plane that still can beat F-35? Then you
Mhm.
have to have teams that are self-driven, that have psychological safety, that have a lot of resilience, to trust themselves that they can fix that. And that drives the innovation culture. Yeah. So we have managed to build a fighter plane with only one engine, much
Mhm.
smaller than F-35, but still beating F-35 in close fight in the air. And that is built on exactly adaptability. We have these engineers that actually, without knowing it most likely, had resilience, had hope that they could fix it, and had psychological safety, trusting the team that I can come up with ideas, maybe stupid ideas, and no one will judge me from that. And all of that together, when engineers decide themselves without top down control, that drive innovation. I would say that is the JAS Gripen fighter plane is a very good sign of an organization showing adaptability, resilience, hope, if I put it that way.
Uh, you said a stupid idea.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, stupid idea.
If you ask me, in an adaptability culture or an
Yeah,
adaptable culture, no idea is stupid.
exactly.
No idea is stupid
No, only good.
because adaptability comes from openness.
Exactly.
Adaptability comes from looking beyond yourself
Mm.
and believing there could be a solution.
Yes.
Now, to take an example, you see, child in class fourth, if we talk of trigonometry to the child or some rocket science to the child, it will be stupid for the child because the child will not understand. But having said that, if the child is open to learn and the parents are open to teach, in our
Exactly.
organization, it becomes the leaders. The child would start absorbing the principles of trigonometry and rocket science, even though he or she is in the fourth standard. Might
Mm.
not be to that
Exactly.
extent, but
Mm.
the concepts. So, and that reminds me, of a story which I read. India is a country of great diversity. On the west, there are huge deserts and there are huge desert storms. So, one man was traveling from one village to the other, and there was a desert storm. Obviously, when there's a desert storm, you really can't walk because all the sand is going into your eyes. But he could not afford to hold back. He had to reach. You know what did the guy do?
No.
He picked up a pan in which his wife used to cook,
Ah, yeah, yeah.
put it over his head, and just started walking.
and started walking without on his head. Exactly.
Yes,
Innovation.
innovation. And
Yeah.
innovation comes in only when you are adaptable.
When you're adaptable, but you are stressing something else that is also part of, you need some sort of pressure.
Okay?
Yeah, some sort. He experienced some pressure. He was in the
Hmm.
desert. I must I must continue. That pushes him into innovation because there's a pressure.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this is another thing where I believe that when you have some sort of pressure on an organization or pressure on an individual person or individual, you start to become creative because you realize I have to do something. I have to do something. I need to figure something out. And that can boost innovation. Yeah. So
Okay?
when you say something very important here, when are people innovative? I can see if you go back to my country, Sweden, or the northern part, because I live in the northern part, it was very cold. So we couldn't just build a shelter. It was a bit cold in the winter. So they said, oh, it's a bit cold here. We have to innovate something. So the climate forced innovation. So people most likely came up with ideas.
Hmm.
And I think this pressure on organizations, you also need to push them into, you know, we need to be there and we need to put some time limit on it. You need to get your people and kite with the organization. So you sort of indicate a pressure on the organization and to the teams.
Right.
But you say something very important here, and that is that there are no stupid ideas. The worst thing that can happen to an organization, and I worked in such an organization as well, that is when people have their ideas silently because they don't dare to express them.
Okay.
That is very dangerous. They say yes, but they actually mean no. And I say, could you please say no? Because I need to know if it's yes or no. Yeah, yeah, don't please me as a manager here. This is also leadership because if I have people around me that pleases me because they are afraid of me, that inhibits adaptability. And adaptability is also innovation. Yeah.
I love the poetry. Please say no for me to know.
For me to know, yes. Then I might ask you, why did you say no? And then we need, and this is, we need a dialogue. I, as your manager, I need to know where we are.
Yes.
But this is any leader, their manager. If I think I have people around me that are afraid of me, there's only one person in that room that can change that. It's me.
Right. You mentioned of pressure, and I do agree. Pressure pushes human beings
Mm,
into exerting themselves. Now, the environment in which we are living today,
mm,
the environment in which we are doing business today, is constantly changing, is rapidly changing, and
yeah.
dramatically changing.
Yes.
And and it's changing in every respect in technology, in customer wants, in the
Yes.
geopolitical situations, in social
Yes.
norms. It's changing dramatically. Now, for the organization to remain relevant,
Mm,
number one,
mm,
number two, grow, and okay, growth would be later, remain relevant,
yeah.
survive, and then grow.
Mm,
The organizations today are facing pressure 24 by 7 into 365 days.
yeah.
There is no escape from pressure. Now, what is more important in such a situation, adaptability or resilience?
You see, resilient is part of adaptability.
Okay,
So here, if I put it, let's see this, try to make it as clear as possible. I will try, but put it say that you have now. Let's say we have a company with, let's say, 4 teams. It's a very small company, but it's just for the discussion here. And let's say I come in as the expert here, and they say we need to this company we need to transform, and we have a feeling of this is often what I hear that it's difficult to change the people, to create an awareness in this company that we need to change. Yes, I said. And then my question is always, where do you want to be in 2 years or 3 years to survive? That's the first question I ask. And that can be for many very, very challenging. Because I say you need to know where you want to be. You need to dream about that. Okay, they say, if you know that, then I go in and I measure. Every person has to do an assessment. And from there, I can measure every individual person. But that's actually not so important, Sandeep. But I measure the teams. These 4 teams, they will have a collective AQ.
Okay.
And I can then see when I go through the team, okay, is this particular team one have hope? It's very low. The hope is low. They're not very optimistic. Resilience, medium. Yeah, that means that they struggle to recover from failures and etc. They might have also a medium mental flexibility, which means that they have a hard time to take in different perspectives. And they may be also in the team play to protect. That means that they're not very much sharing things, but they could have a very high level of autonomy. That means that they have high team support. Yeah, but they are sort of medium trusting the company. If I now see this, then I know that this team need to work on understanding where they are going. Because if they don't know where they are going, why should you then be resilient? You need to create a vision for this team. We will make it. We just don't know when. And
Okay.
you need to understand that we are going in one direction forward. This company, we're going to produce and we're going to be here. We're going to be one of those staying relevant. And we are building this sort of vision. This is what the Americans are very good at. They are building this of we're going to, be the best delivery of a certain product and we're going to basically lead the world in the future. So the team understand this is our part in company and we're going to make sure that we end up there. So they have to train as a team to understand not only resilience, but they have to build hope that, yeah, we maybe don't know tomorrow what to do, but if we take one step and we learn to communicate with other team members, we as a team will figure out. And we will be a key in this company here, if I put it that way. And in that way, when they build hope, they increase their openness to take in new ideas. They realize, wow, we didn't know that. We can learn. And then, I can trust my team as well. I can actually share my ideas. Then the resilience come. Because the resilience come slowly when you realize I can fix it. We can fix it together.
Tina, I agree with you. Okay, resilience helps you endure.
Yeah.
Adaptability helps you evolve.
Yeah, adaptability is the umbrella.
Yes,
Resilience is part of. So
it's a small
yeah, yeah,
factor of
yeah,
the
yeah,
entire umbrella.
yeah,
So just focusing on resilience, skews the entire thing, especially in a fast-changing environment like
yeah,
today. Now, like I said earlier, it's very essential to survive, to remain relevant, survive, and evolve, grow, be
mm,
profitable, etc.,
mm,
etc. Now, when the environment is changing very fast, every leader is faced with three options.
mm,
Number one, stay the course. Don't do anything. Things,
yeah,
things will pass.
mm,
The second one is adjust. And the third one is adapt and pivot.
mm,
The first is do nothing. Second is adjust. And third is adapt and pivot.
mm,
Now, what is the sign? which a leader should look for, an adaptable leader should look for to decide on one of the courses to be followed.
Yeah, that is, if I continue here, because this team I was talking about might need or have a specific need. The team I mentioned before, they might need to develop the manager's leadership communication so he can more clearly communicate for the team where they are going. Then you could have another team, and that team's adaptability score, IQ, looks very different. There can be other facets. They could be, having a completely different need that could connect it to trust or psychological safety. So they need to develop something else. And then you could have another team and they have another need. This is the uniqueness with what I do, because with that said, you can create different KPIs for all the four teams. So you know what they need to develop as team.
Okay.
And together, putting that together, you build an organization that have resilience. In it, you create the adaptability. AQ that I work with are built on three things. It is the ability, you know, and that involves the learning ability usually among people. It also the characters, and then you have the environment. And all these three, they together create the AQ. And resilience is one of the facets in the organizations. So resilience can go up and down. And I know that from personal, I would also put it this as something that all of this here, what I talk about is coachable. But I can give a personal example on as I am a scientist. Yeah. If when I worked as a scientist at the Max Planck in Germany, I got the project. That was the failure project, Sandeep. But after 2 years, there was a result. You need a lot of resilience to just do experiment after experiment and experiment. So what was it that made me continue? Well, it was because I constantly did experiments and learned so I could modify and adapt my strategy. And I had the hope that I will fix it.
Mhm.
Somehow I will fix it. But the good news was what I learned, I can't do it on my own. That was my experience. So I went to my professor and said, I think this project has potential, but I can't fix it alone. I need someone that is much better on me doing some of the experiments. So there came a woman, a Russian woman, Olga. She was brilliant.
Mhm.
We both, on the other hand, Sandeep, had a hard time to work, but we were two stubborn women. And believe it or not, it ended up in a project together with a guy called Stefan. So
Mhm.
you see, the adaptability was here from my side in a stubborn way to understand my limitations and to involve another person. That is also a sort of self awareness,
Mhm.
optimism, and resilience that, okay, I can't fix it on my own. But now I'm coming here, Sandy. If I ask for help, if I ask for help, it will work out. That is a sort of resilience that people that learn, I don't have to do it on my own. I'm sitting here being unemployed, or I'm sitting here as a team. What kind of key people do we need in our team to actually move forward with a project? That is a form of resilience where the team have learned we can fix it, not only by learning skills our own, but by adding
Mhm.
skills with other people. That's a form of resilience. Connected to many other aspects, of course, but it is what you say. You need self awareness. You need trust so you can express and go to a professor like I did. Hi, Fritz, I'm not good enough. I will not fix this project. I need another person in.
Okay. Now, let me put you on the hot seat
Yeah, hot seat.
with,
Yeah.
with an unconventional question.
Yeah.
What is more important in life, resilience or adaptability?
in my concept, adaptability and resilience goes together, so you can't disconnect it. Adaptability, AQ intelligence that I work with, that is resilience, one little part of the rest. So
Okay.
you can, it doesn't help you resilient if you have no mental flexibility.
Yes.
It's no, you can't really be resilient if you can't collaborate with people. It's very difficult. Yeah. If you're going to work in an organization, you can have very high resilience, but if you are not very optimistic, if you have no hope, if you can't communicate that you need help, resilience sort of is difficult to build.
Yes.
Yes. And resilience also that you has a willingness to be open minded, to bring in, sort of have a mindset that it will fix it. And I just need to learn, I need to talk with someone. Then resilience factor most likely also increases a lot. So I would say that resilience is a very important aspect of adaptability.
Yes.
Mm.
And I
And
wanted to.
adaptability, I wanted to put you here again just to say, if you are adaptable, Sandeep, then you are coachable. And when you are coachable, you will increase your adaptability and resilience. I don't know. That was my long explanation.
No, no, no. It's a lovely explanation, you know. It's a lovely explanation. And while you were talking, what was coming to my mind?
Yeah,
That, guys, you should focus on adaptability, not on resilience alone.
yeah,
Because if you become adaptable, resilience automatically comes. And
yes,
why do I say so? You're
yeah,
walking on the road, you fall in a ditch, you stand up, that is resilience.
mm,
You fall, stand up,
yep,
and start walking again.
yeah,
That is resilience.
that's resilience. Yes,
And what does adaptability do? It opens the door to a new path.
exactly.
So, what is more important, opening doors and walking on a new path, or keep walking and falling in the same ditch and rising, falling in the same ditch and rising? If you don't want to fall in the same ditch, you have no option
You have no
other
option.
other than becoming adaptable. And the same principle applies for the organizations.
Mm,
Because organizations are paper tigers,
mm,
it's the human beings and the characteristics of the human beings and the human nature which breathes
mm.
life
Yeah.
into organizations, and that forms the culture.
That forms the culture. Exactly.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
you said something very good here. When you're resilient, you stand up. Adaptability opens the door. And when
Yes.
you open the door and you are open minded enough, then a new future,
New
new
future,
ideas
new
will
idea.
appear for you.
Yes. And Tina, it's been 30 minutes. We have been
Yeah,
together.
that was,
Like we decided, we'll keep our stuff short, right? So,
yeah,
okay, my last question to you.
yeah, yeah,
Before
thank you.
I ask you, okay, what do you want to leave with the audience? And my question is, please tell us three visible behaviors of a leader that the team can immediately feel.
A team can immediately feel
Yes.
if they can trust their manager.
Okay.
And when I say trust, if the manager is open minded enough to
Mhm.
listen, yeah, to listen to ideas. It doesn't mean the manager do exactly, but if the manager have the time to listen and say, okay, I hear you, I take that with me, yeah,
Mhm.
that a team. So a team immediately feels if they have a manager that is on their side.
Yes.
You can never tweak that as a manager. They immediately feel it. They also immediately feel if they have a manager, and I'm saying something important,
Mhm.
know their team, but at the same time is good at navigating the company culture. So their manager actually have a power.
Okay.
Yeah. It is important to have a manager and that the manager is trying to understand how to navigate in the organization.
Okay.
A team that is sort of team understand and also respect the manager, so to speak. The team also notice if they have a manager that pretend that they have to be perfect. A
Okay.
team prefer usually to have managers they are themselves, that they are not perfect. Because the manager, a good manager, a manager that can choose the team, has a team that complement the manager. So the team feel they can help the manager, be useful for the manager. Yeah, this is a Scandinavian way of putting it, but this is very important in Scandinavia. Yeah,
This is the international way of putting it. And what I hear, Tina,
yeah,
number one is mindful listening.
yes,
You listen mindfully. You not only
yes,
listen, but mindfully.
mindfulness. Yeah,
That is very important. Number two, you said power. If
power.
you permit me, I'll say vision. The manager shows the vision.
Yeah,
Where
power.
where as a team are we going and we need to go?
And that the manager communicate that in the
Yes,
company.
and communicates that.
Yeah,
And the third and the most important thing is the manager says, "I am human like you."
yeah,
You see, actually, in management terminology, we'll say authentic, etc., etc. So let me use the human language.
yeah.
I am human like you, and I make the same mistakes as you do.
Mhm.
Therefore, we need to come together, join hands, and move forward.
And I need to citate a Danish, now I forgot his name, but he was a very famous CEO in a company, very successful. I think his name was Spies in Denmark. They know him very
Mhm.
well. And he stood up and said on a big party with his whole company listening to him, and he said, I have no idea how important I am in your life.
Hmm.
But me, I am nothing in this company without you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's a brilliant example of authenticity
Mm,
and having the courage to admit it openly.
mm.
So, Tina, it's been 33 minutes now. We
Yeah.
have covered a lot today, as usual. Small questions, pinpointed answers. So, what would you like our audience to carry home with them in terms of adaptability? What should they do so that they start becoming adaptable in their private life and professional life?
One thing I wanted to bring back home that adaptability connected with resilience, as we talked here today, it is trainable, coachable, and it's never static in life. And that is why it's so important to be coachable. So never ever hesitate to reach out for help because you can train your adaptability and resilience in your whole life and you can develop it in your whole life. And it's not age connected, culture connected, nothing. It's just human.
And if Tina permits me, I'll just take forward what she said coachable, and I'll give you the reason. You see, we live in two worlds, the inner world and the outer world. Our inner world, which is the world of our values, aspirations, dream, reactions, experiences, drives our external world. You are acting and being adaptable in the external world.
Mhm,
And your inner world, as per science, ancient wisdom, and modern science today, is highly coachable.
mhm,
Neurogenesis, neuroplasticity, those are the terms which change the patterns of our brain. And yes, I totally agree with you. And I've given you the scientific background of what Tina said. Yes, by using the correct intent you can become resilient, you can become adaptable, because then you trigger your intention and actions, they trigger neuroplasticity and new patterns get evolved, which become your habit.
Mhm.
Guys,
Exactly.
you can find Tina on social media. Tina, why don't you tell them where they can find you, and then I'll.
Yeah, yeah, you can find me on my YouTube channel, Passage to Pro, but you also find me on my webpage, Passage to Pro, and LinkedIn. You can always connect with me, Tina Person, on LinkedIn. And if you're curious, if you want to contact me, please just reach out. Happy to hear from you. That's where you find me. And of course, on this channel.
And guys, I work in the space of inner operating system, and I help leaders and organizations to integrate consciousness with economic performance for sustainable, profitable growth. And you can find me on my LinkedIn page, Sandeep Amar Gupta. You can find me on my website, sandeepamargupta.com. And like Tina said, obviously, through this events page and this channel. So thank you very much. And most probably we'll come back next week again. I've used the word most probably because after being here every week for 3 months, we are trying to design something more exciting and more happening for you. And we might take the next week off, but
Mhm.
nevertheless, we'll keep you informed. So
Yep.
thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. And have a lovely Saturday here in Scandinavia, Europe, and India, or wherever you are.